Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex, and today I'm working on BigRed, the 86 Dodge Ram. And if you've been watching the channel, you know that the carburetor's been giving me a little trouble. And actually last weekend, I think I figured out what the deal was. This carburetor's been on this truck for about 12 years. But what was happening is it was going lean on me when I tried to transition. And it didn't do that on the old motor. So it had a 360 in it, now it has a 318. And it never had an issue with that before. And what I did this weekend is I closed the front butterflies completely, and it still was idling. So I put my hand over the back, the secondary butterflies with a towel, and just choked it off, and it killed the engine. So I think the back butterflies are out of adjustment. But with that being said, I still went ahead and bought a new carburetor. So what I decided on is the Brawler Race 750 double pumper. So no choke horns, down leg boosters, and hopefully I have everything to install it. Kind of worried about the inlets, and everything else should be fine. I think that the throttle linkage, kick down linkage should all be fine. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this install and show you guys a little bit, then we're gonna see how this thing will run. I'm gonna go ahead and get the old vacuum secondary 750 off. And I did buy some fuel lines a while back ago and some fittings, so I'm gonna try to make some new fuel lines. I went ahead and took off the inlet for the fuel line, and I did find I have this other package here. Let's see. Well, anyway, so there's some 6AN inlets. Those should work good. So I have that. Have some more fuel line. And what I want to do is get rid of that fuel line there, that rail. I don't like that thing. It just makes it hard to change jets and all. And then I'll run new fuel line all the way down to the 6AN down here. Vacuum line. Okay, carburetor is off. Quick update on Mr. Jones. Last time you saw it, it was being towed. And I took the alternator. So the alternator wasn't charging whenever I got back home, cranked it up, whatever. Wasn't charging. Took the alternator to the alternator shop. They said it was charging. So came back, put a good charge on the battery, put the alternator back on it, and in the owner's manual or the install manual for that particular alternator, it's a one-wire setup, but there's a ground wire that needs to be hooked up as well. In the directions for that unit, it doesn't say anything about that ground wire. I was looking at another one-wire setup, and they said put a ground on that terminal. So that's what I did. It's charging now. It was running like crap, so I went ahead and pulled a plug and ended up having to change all the plugs. See how bad those are. So that was, I think, Saturday. Put a new set of plugs in, went for a rip. She's running perfect. So we'll get back to that later. But carburetor's off. Here's the old vacuum secondary straight leg booster. I took the choke out of it, and as you can see, needs to be gone through. It has leaks pretty much everywhere. The intake manifold, you can tell that carburetor's been leaking because it's left grime on the intake manifold. Looks terrible. So I'm gonna go ahead and start transferring stuff over to the new unit, and then I'm gonna install it and then get my new fuel line set up. Carburetor came with a new gasket. That's good. You can see I put my new inlets in, and just holding this thing compared to the other one, this is way lighter. I don't know It's got billet meter and block and billet plate, bottom plate, but this thing is just way lighter than that old one. It also comes with nipples on all the fittings. I have it bolted on, my linkages are on, they need just a little bit of adjustment there. And then now time to work on these fuel lines. Looking good. First piece I have here, I bought a little section that has a fuel gauge inlet on it. So I'm gonna put that on here. And start running the rest of our hose. So I wanted to make sure I reuse that fuel gauge from the other rail. Okay, I ordered this stuff a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember what I did here, but these two will go into the carburetor, have a line coming down to this T here, the other side of the carburetor come here, and then this will go down to where the fuel pump feeds. So we get to work on that. Okay, carburetor's on, and I had to abandon ship on the fuel lines, so I'm using the old fuel line. There wasn't enough space here for all that stuff that I had, for all the connectors and all that stuff. So put the old fuel line back on, already primed it, and you can see it's dropped down, but primed it. There's fuel in the bowls, no leaks. Everything went together smooth. You can see the squirters doing squirting stuff. There, fill those up. Let's go ahead and bust it off and see how it does. I didn't adjust anything, so let's just see how it does. Busted right off first time, and video cut off on me, but anyways, got her idling right now. The let's see, about 1,000 RPM. Haven't set anything other than the idle screw, the throttle screw. Waiting for it to warm up. You see the float bowl on the front, it's pretty high. Here's the exhaust leak on that side. Probably too high. Let it warm up. Not even 100 degrees yet. Let her warm up. That thing's snappy. Good Lord. So we're gonna go for a quick test drive. I just adjusted the floats a little bit. Still got some work to do with it, but just want to test it out. It's about 8 o'clock, so we just want to get out of here. Do a quick little run. Up to 160 degrees. So we're good on that. there you go, guys. That thing is running pretty good right now. That carburetor needs a little adjustment. It's running rich, and a little bit when I winged it, you could see it getting a little lean a few times. Probably adjust the squirters on that a little bit. But I mean, out of the box, that thing is awesome. That thing is super responsive. I don't know, it's gonna be great. I need to get it tuned better once we get some daylight. Maybe this weekend. It's supposed to be raining, and then I'd really like to get this thing to track. I did buy a helmet the other day. I bought a Race Quip helmet. It's a medium, which is what I've always wore, and it's too big, so I have to send it back. But that Brawler came from Summit, so did the helmet. I'm gonna send that back. They never have a problem returning stuff. Get a small coming my way, and then we'll get this truck to the track. But hope you guys enjoyed. I think that's a good upgrade. We'll see you next time.